Patches being dropped what feels like almost every day in the PTR. Seems like things are moving forward, and as a semi-new player, it feels good. Even more bugs pop up as soon as they fix them, though. This video is going to go over one part of the roadmap that they had showed off not too long ago, that being about the marketing they were going to start doing in November. One of the many questions with the testers or player base is why they're planning on starting to think about marketing this game. Now in this video there are two things I want to give my take on. The first is why they are wanting to start doing marketing, and the other during the October live stream about bringing more people into the alpha test, which they reiterated in the November live stream. Now, I can give you some of my own personal feedback about why they are looking to start marketing plans now, as one of my jobs is dealing with event management for major marketing and communication companies here in the United States. It takes time to create marketing campaigns, displays, and other tools necessary to have a successful marketing campaign. As we all know, time is money and money is time. To give you an idea of how this would look like, Intrepid Studios would make their own or get a marketing agency to create a campaign for Ashes. This takes sometimes, I have seen it, up to about a year depending on the complexity. Once everyone agrees on what's going to happen, they put a packet together and send it out to contractors to bid on the work. This can take a month to a few months depending on, once again, the complexity of the campaign. Once this is done and the contracts are signed, it's off to the races for contractors to build the campaign. This also can take a month or up to a year depending on timeline and complexity again. Then after that, the year or two to actually execute the campaign. There will be some changes along the ways, like finding out venues does not have the supporting numbers Intrepid was looking for the type of target audience that they are trying to reach. It's just not there anymore. Sometimes news like the whole event is canceled due to lack of interest or something to do with the bad press. Now, this is just a simple example of things that I've seen over the past 15 years of doing this. Now, granted, I've kind of rushed through this, but you can kind of see that they need to start actually planning their marketing, like now, if not like months ago. They want to have a beta test by the end of 2026 or start of 2027. They really need to start thinking about these things, especially when they must plan around conventions. And nowadays, with no more E3 or big MMO conventions to really dump most of their budget on to get the most bang for their buck. They're too young to have their own con like Blizzard before a game's release. They are going to need to go to other types of events and cons to try to hit their target market. Once again, this is vague understanding of the industry, and each differ in timelines, but someone who does not know, it's a good cliff note of the process. Now that I've given you the idea of why they should start looking at marketing of the game, I would like to take some time to look at something Steven said back in the October live stream. When the question was asked about marketing, he said he wanted to get more players who might not know about the game and to get more testers to test the game and give more feedback. Now let's start off with the biggest issue, the current state of the game is in. While they are planning to drop the final archetype in November and start the story quests to the world, the game is currently in too many pieces. We have some major mechanics in the game to test, but we're missing other parts to have the proper feedback. We, the testers, know it's an alpha, so things will change. However, do we know what collecting 100 copper to make a sword would feel like at 25? Are the numbers that we're going to see at 25 stick? Or could this just be an endgame number just set for level 25 items? Or is the number just arbitrary and we should not think too deeply about it? I'm kind of curious how they are collecting all this data. Do they have internal systems way of collecting the information, or are they just mostly going off of posts and videos? While many different parts of the team have been doing their best to give us feedback information, it's still not what is needed to give back proper feedback unless something is really broken. It's like a design engineer trying to build parts to a machine they can't see and are given very vague information and numbers to design the parts that needs to be precise or could destroy the machine or product. Another issue being that the testers are really players wanting a finished game. We know they have been having this issue as they've mentioned it in the past on videos and posts. Most players that come in don't want to test the game. They want to play the game. While they are getting information from testers, after spending time reading the Discord and different chat channels, you can see the sweat coming off the post as if it was a live game. It is going to be hard getting more testers in, as not many players want to test a game. They want to play the game, and the road to beta feels right now a rough path ahead for them. Now, many of the circles of gamers I'm part of who are waiting on the sidelines for beta, they don't want to go through a ton of changes from now till then. One thing we need to keep in mind as testers, as there are not many games that let this many players into alpha to test systems and keep servers going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That normally does not happen until beta. I do keep in mind at the time I was both testing and playing Crowfall was a comment I think Todd made, and was that if he had to ever do it again, he would never have open 24-hour servers again for alpha, as it was too time consuming to keep up with patching a test server that players were on while trying to fix and develop systems and elements for the finished product or something along those lines. It was said quite some time ago. So something I do want to say about this video and the overall idea of this marketing and pushing the game, I will say the development team have really picked up the pace and have really been slamming it out of the park with updates. Originally, this video was supposed to come out back in October after the live stream. However, it seemed like every time I turned the corner to publish this video, I was editing this document to actually be like, okay, well, this is what I just said, and now that got thrown out of the door because, hey, they just updated, gave us more information. I think when I started this script, it started off as a big, huge 10-page document, which for even someone like me, that's a lot of information and opinions. However, they've definitely changed it to where this thing is no more than like 3.5 pages. So as someone who's newer coming in, I do see a lot of progress and have to say, kudos to the team that have been working hard to get this out. I'm still a bit concerned about having, early access on Steam, but I do understand trying to test out these systems ahead of time. So only time will tell. We're right around the corner from December 11th, and I wish them the best of luck for it. So what does everyone else think? I threw out my opinion. Love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. If you wouldn't mind, if you liked the video, please hit that like button, and I'll see some of you guys on December 11th.